Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. So it seems like the quarrel between Drake and Kendrick really goes further than we naturally suspected since, on the road, Drake has an intense disdain for individuals of color. And to that end, he never botches a chance to go after any individual of color who thinks for even a second to inhale. What's much more insane about this is that Wendy Williams really attempted to caution us about this toward the beginning of Drake's profession when she put him on impact for continuously disregarding individuals of color, yet many individuals thought she was simply being untidy with her big name. Tattle syndicated program who was gabbing on her show for clout. Yet it turns out she was really onto something, and we're seconds ago seeing it progressively one thing about Wendy Williams' child she could make a wisecrack, yet she hasn't at any point lied. She was quite possibly the earliest individual to call Diddy out on this DL exercises. However, at that point individuals expelled her for that. And presently it turns out her suspicions about Drake having scorn for individuals of color, particularly individuals of color, are additionally obvious like this. Lady may very well be mystic or something. Now, as the vast majority of you all definitely know, Drake and Kendrick are as of now having an exception. Nally dreadful rap fight, and things are not looking excessively great for Drake. The quarrel really started quite a long time back, however. Things went truly crazy when Kendrick as of late Drake on his section from Metro blasting, and future tunes like that. Once this melody came out, Drake got into his sentiments, and he answered Kendrick with 2 diss tracks push-ups, and custom free form Kendrick answered back by delivering 4 unique disc tracks back-to-back. Elation 616 is in regulation. Meet the Grams and Dislike Us, in which he blamed Drake for having a BBL, being envious of his companions being egotistical individuals, playing with underage young ladies, attempting to act dark, faking his dark lingo, and charging that Drake is concealing one of his child from the public as he did with his child Adonis. Drake attempt to keep it up by delivering his own arrangement of diss tracks where he accuses Kendrick of putting his hands on his life partner, Whitney, and fathering a youngster that and even his yet the illnesses were not really staying in toward the finish. All things considered, obviously Kendrick had won this fight, like Kendrick was truly keeping his foot on Drake's neck, and he was not easing up anyway, something that Kendrick said truly stood apart to individuals. It's the point at which he blamed Drake for despising dark ladies in his tune Meet the Grams. He raps. He despises people of color hyperism with wrinkles of a nay obsession. He developed beard growth since he comprehended being a facial hair growth simply fitting better. He got wrongdoers on the record mark of VO that he keeps on a month-to-month stipend. Now, the motivation behind why this specific lie stood apart to many individuals isn't on the grounds that Kendrick just obtrusively blamed Drake for holding on to say guilty parties in his bunk. It's likewise in light of the fact that he talked on something that a ton of people of color have been saying regarding Drake for a long time, and that is, he has a very deep pull contempt for people of color. As a matter of fact, he went under a great deal of intensity back in 20,122 when he tossed shots at the Stan and Rihanna ridiculous in him and the 21 Savage's joint collection, her misfortune now, as the vast majority of you all definitely know conservative land got into some serious lawful difficulty back in 2020 when he maged the Stein in the foot returning from a pool party at Kylie Jenner's bunk. Taurus, been condemned to 10 years in jail. However, there are here are still individuals who are hent on mythical beast Megan's name through the mud and blaming her for lying about the opening, despite the fact that there's a very sizable amount of evidence of Tory carrying out the wrongdoing. Drake did a genuine steady employment at uncovering himself as one of those individuals when he dissed in his SI Crazy, in which he blamed Megan for lying about the shooting. He wrapped this up as completely false about getting, yet she's still a steed. Megan hadn't arrived for the silliness, and she burned through no time in applauding back at Drake. She said to quit involving my shoes for clout, be behind men, since when the F is it cool to joke about ladies getting you all, particularly rap folks, are laying prepared to blacklist shoes and garments yet canine heap on an individual of color when she expresses one of the old homeboys abused her yet. That is not all on the grounds that in a similar collection, he hauled Rihanna for Phil in his melody Dread of Levels. He put Rihanna on impact for unloading him and dating Azip Ruff, who he feels isn't and his level yet. That wasn't even the most horrendously awful of it, called Rihanna normal, and asserted that he's had a lot more blazing sweethearts, and that her life is unsurprising without incitement. He rapped Better Believe It, and the sex was normal with you definitely I'm a T in light of The fact that I had it with you and I had way preferred honeybees over you to tell the truth. However, get this, Megan and Rana were, by all accounts, not the only people of color that he went after in that Uavalent collection, in light of the fact that he made one more tune in which he tossed hits at Serena Williams. Better believe it, you all heard that, right? Serena, in a real sense, doesn't irritate anyone. And even though she ain't even saved from Drake's seething scorn toward people of color in the sea, he unequivocally considered Serena's significant other a groupie and guaranteed she ought to have improved in picking a spouse. Serena, a spouse, is a groupie. He guarantees we don't have an issue yet. No, it looks like you're coming for sushi. Spring up on him freely like Suzuki, who is currently Serena's significant other. Alex didn't squander any time in applauding back, and he took to Twitter to say that the explanation I give for winning is that I'm persistent about being the very best at anything I do, including being the best groupie for my spouse and little girl. Serena herself really answered the tweet with these emos to show her help for Alex. And in the event you all didn't realize, Kendrick truly checked for Drake for coming at Serena in his Melody Isn't Like Us, where he repped from promotion down to focal better not address Serena, and we should not fail to remember how he continually discusses the amount he cherishes the L yet never misses a potential chance to commend R. Kelly, a similar man who constrained H into a marriage she would have rather not been in at 15 years old, who's likewise purportedly answerable for her deadly plane accident. Drake, in a real sense, has a tattoo of Alia's face on his back. He examined her tune. Extraordinary, he stuck a whole open letter to her back in 2010 and involved her voice for additions to his songs and numerous types of stuff, yet keeps on favoring R. Kelly. And in any event, went to the extent that giving R. Kelly beam credits on his collection affirmed darling kid, like you, and not make this up. It's practically similar to Aliyah being the token person of color, utilizing to prevail upon ladies while at the same time really detesting individuals of color, and never passing up on a chance to put them on impact and question their injury. This man is off the wall in a very clear strolling warning now with regards to Wendy Williams, whom she's rarely similar to, and she made those extremely clear times on her show. She never expressed a justification for why she could have done without him. But that's what she indicated, the reason being on the grounds that he doesn't regard individuals of color presently. Definitely no. Wendy Williams and Diddy don't have a generally excellent relationship, yet there was really a moment where she needed to put Drake on impact for slighting Diddy, since she felt like Drake's insolence toward Diddy was an obvious sign about how he truly had an outlook on individuals of color in Miami. The Club Live Alright that is live on Puffy was incensed while certain individuals were saying that Puffy was angry in light of the fact that Drake attempted to hit on his better half Cassie. Yet that is not what happened. What happened is Puffy's incensed that Drake scored the tune 0 from 100 on the grounds that Puffy felt the melody had a place with him, meaning Puffy, the tune was given to the two noble men, and Puffy was perched on it for quite a while. Like, you realize, I'll hit it up. Let me tell you, I haven't even paid attention to it yet. Well, give me okay. I'll get around to it. Meanwhile, Drake resembles I like this melody. I need to record this tune. You know, Little Dog is going to make it happen or not, because it's given to the two of us. So Drake wound up recording it, and as you probably are aware, that is the tune of the late spring, and you know, a melody that everyone snaps their neck to, and Puffy passed up a success. So the folks see each other at the live club before you know it. Puffy punches Drake in the face. Well, at first I'm similar to how graceless. There must be something else entirely to this. How about we examine? Well, we did. And clearly this punch in front of Drake from Puffy is 10 months very much past due. I will explain to you why Drake has a background marked by a slight Puffy, and I have the video film to demonstrate it. See this, glance at this, watch what happens. Drake Mike. Now you realize you don't grab someone's amplifier in any event. When we truly do ask Wendy, you realize I clutch my mic tight for the next person someone needs to take. I'm like, no, the mic is the power. Now we, as a whole, realize that Drake is exceptionally gifted. You realize, he sings. He raps because certain individuals believe he's incredibly attractive. You know, he's right now in the highest rated spot, taking everything into account and ability. However, perhaps this has gone to his head, where he simply feels as though he can stroll around and disregard a legend. No doubt I said it. I can call it as far as I can tell you who's superior to Puff. As far as you are probably aware, lifespan in this game being a magnate, being a rapper delivering and making hits. Who's better? Not Drake. I can't imagine anyone at this specific time, and furthermore, considering that man's age, he's very nearly 50. I'm trying to say he ought to have smacked him upside the head back in February. Subscribe Syllab Hut for more videos.